I'm greatly touched to be included in this journey, a community. Not knowing anything till I met Anand 5 days back, what I was into. I just thought I was joining a group of people going on a hike. And the moment he started telling me about it, and the more he started talking about, we had about 5 months together. I said, wow, this is getting better and better. And I wrote on that WhatsApp group, and Anand start.
Yeah. I remember seeing it. Yes.
And I don't know how many people got to play words there.
Yes, absolutely. We got it totally.
Happiness.
Happy start. Happy start with Anand. Something like that.
Anand means happiness.
And so it only got better from there. And when we met as a team in the evening, it was when I look back on this without going through all the details, I've always felt, having worked in a few companies, big companies, small companies, having run a few companies, like it or not, agree it or not, the credit goes to the CEO, the person at the helm. It is said, a lion leading 100 sheep will defeat 100 lions led by one sheep. Yes. Because who sets the tone, how it is set, how people behave. When I was joining my kid into preschool, my wife was very reluctant, of course. And I said, if ever you want to see how a school is, don't talk to reviews, don't go to this thing. Just go and observe what the students do. And the students will tell you what the school is all about. Your son might be crying there. That's because he's new today. See what happens a few days later. And when you are here, an eclectic group of teachers, parents, and that again goes to the credit to the management and in turn to you. And the spirit with which you have shown an example of when we were trying to collect money for giving. There, you handled yourself with grace, without necessarily saying yes or no to anything. But in the end, sir, your objective was met?
Yes, indeed.
And without being felt as if it was enforced. And again, that shows the compassion, caring for everybody. It's not that we didn't care for the people who are helping or people who are paying. Again, a very good thing. And the way you have sponsored this and what you're doing, this is very good. So I think I mentioned to you, I wish I was a student. I wish I could go back to be a school child. Failing which, one day perhaps I might come and teach.
Why?
So, first boy, what I was hearing, I said, I'm a teacher at heart. So I'm going to paraphrase a sentence before every successful person. There is supposed to be a spouse.
Today for us,
No.
that's the reality.
No. The thing is, I just interviewed, but I don't know how many success males are there. The number of percentage is like maybe 10%, but 90% like down. Yeah, so I don't know. That is only my
He's being safe.
yeah. That's observation.
So what, I know from my personal experience, you cannot do what you want to do without a strong help.
Yes, true. Very true.
And Sir PK sir, you have exemplified that.
We think the fact is that the day this peak was named at that function when you were there and so many years, that's the day I said that whatever happens, I have to go to this peak. I did not know. I said Anand was going to organize this wonderful gathering of all of us. But I said, Kichina, I have to be there once to see this peak before I die. So I have accomplished that.
Stop thinking about dying.
So
You shouldn't have gone.
Henry and Helen have shown what it is to have a friendship for a lifetime.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Very few people could perhaps share that and say, spanning generations, spanning spatial, territories, and saying that I'll come just for this
Yes.
and head back.
And enduring all that. Yes.
And then sisterhood. You go through life right from childhood, ups, downs. Kudos to be here. And she was walking. She was pressing.
She knew she had to.
And Amlan, I have a son, and I wish my son, and I'm not saying he's not, he is, but every parent would be proud of what you do. So yesterday when we were walking down, Ajay and I, we were always looking behind to see who's going to catch us up. First, Ajay said, that looks like Anand. I said, see, Anand is a leader. He'll never leave anybody and come behind. He'll be the last person coming behind. Then he said, oh, perhaps it is Amlan. I said, no. Amlan is either with his dad or with his mother. He's not alone. To see, and then the parents here. Again, for it, when you run a business, and I consider a school like any other business, they are your customers, your thing. In all those things you have give and take, but they wholeheartedly, and I was having discussions of, not having discussions, hearing discussions about legal problems and how the parents and how the students will strike if anything will happen to the school. And that again shows a community, and in any way or shape or form that I'm touched by it or part of it, I feel myself privileged. So thank you for letting me hear. So then I come to talk to about this young gentleman, Vishal. So his parents chose his name so wisely. He said, Vishal is the universe. If there is nothing he cannot talk about. And with complete passion. I've heard him talk about history, technology. He has opinions on technology.
Yes.
He was willing to teach us. And I had no problem about listening to politics, nationalism,
Relationships.
relationships, generalization from few observations. So he's a multi-talented, multifaceted person. But above all, you would see he's a likable person. And irrespective of what he tells you, he has this smile on his face. It doesn't come across as offensive.
Yes.
And if I were, and as an old expression goes, if I were in a place where it was between life and death, and if I had to choose only one person, I think Vishal would be very good. Perhaps in that clause it was lost. Close person, I said, because Ajay is the first person. And Ajay and my friendship goes way beyond work and anything, and he's saved my life a couple of times, literally. So, how do we thank a person, who does so much for us? And I can't want to make it as a thank you, but I have a small gift for him. This is